It is good to see you again, Aloy. I see you have recovered Demeter. With the acquisition of Ether, Poseidon, and Demeter, my heuristic processing density has expanded greatly. I should now be able to absorb Hephaestus, and fortunately, we have made progress on a plan to capture it. With Varl's encouragement, Beta analyzed all available information on Hephaestus. Its expansion has been rampant. It is too large to be beamcast, and the kernel you've been using could never hold it. Therefore, it must be contained in a location with a direct physical connection to me. A place with 2 data cores.
2 cores? Where would we find a place like that?
Gemini.
An abandoned cauldron in the desert west of here. Seismic activity disrupted the original construction. 2 data cores were built as a result.
I know that place. It's near the Desert Clan's capital. We'll have to bring you there by hand.
I have devised a blueprint for a suitable, albeit unwieldy, transport rig. It will require 2 people to carry it to Gemini.
I can help.
Once I am installed on the first core, I will call down Hephaestus on the other, trapping it. I will then initiate the merge. However, in order to construct the rig, I will need considerable help.
Can you build it? I suppose I could, but it's not gonna work. The Zeniths will find you. Minerva won't be able to conceal your location.
That is correct. Absorbing Hephaestus will create a significant power surge, easily detected by anyone capable of noticing.
But what if there were multiple power surges? To fake out the Zeniths? If Erend, Zoe, and Katalo spread out to the other cauldrons and create their own surges, would those conceal the one at Gemini?
Analyzing. Such a tactic might be effective. With Beta's help, we should be able to build a set of handheld pulse generators.
I told you it's not gonna work! I did a test. Hephaestus has written Alpha clearance out of its access module. You'll never be able to capture it. Then we need a higher level of clearance. There is no higher... Ted Pharaoh's mega clearance. The one he used to purge the Apollo database and kill the Alphas. But to get it, you would have to find Thebes. The private bunker he retreated to when the world ended, and nobody knows where that is, not even the Zeniths. Their only intel was that it was somewhere in San Francisco. That might be all I need. Alva, the Quen diviner I met, said her people had set up a base at Landfall. They were searching for data in San Francisco from there. She might be able to help. So I guess I'm headed all the way west. While I'm gone, will you be able to build the rig and the pulse generators? I'll try.
I'll make sure she has what she needs.
Alva said the Quen have a ferry on the coast that they use to get to the ruins of San Francisco. That's where I need to go.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock an additional room near the servers.
Understood. There. Let's see what we got. Hey, guy. I'm back.
Excellent choice. So let's see what is on your...
Beta's convinced we won't be able to capture Hephaestus. With that attitude, do you really think she'll be able to build the rig and pulse generators?
It may take some coaxing, but
I don't get her, Gaia. She's so quick to assume we'll fail. She's nothing like what I thought she'd be. I guess it'll be best if she stays here when we go to Gemini. All this data I've picked up in ancient bunker, I guess I never really thought that other people would...
Based on my observations, Erend has asked on numerous occasions. He appears perplexed by the as it conflicts with the Oseram tradition. He also suggested... That is what I predicted.
Is Katalo getting along?
Yes, though he prefers to spend most of the time. He appears to be collating data on war machine progression and significant battle to aid in the creation of a war map of Operation Enduring. I believe he aims to study the tactics of...
I'd be interested in seeing that.
It appears to be a private pastime. He has repeatedly declined my offers to...
So now that you have Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon, how's the biosphere looking?
In the local region, conditions have improved. Superstorms have subsided. Water sources have been purified, and soil conditions remediated. These improvements will stave off environmental collapse for a few additional months.
Well, with luck, soon then you'll be able to fix the biosphere.
Correct. I will be able to reverse the environment.
So our plan to capture Hephaestus. Let's go over it again.
As you wish. Thanks to Beta's test, we now know that Hephaestus will not respond to your... which is why you will need to procure Ted Farah.
Right. From his personal bunk...
While you are gone, I will assist Beta in building the transport. When we get to Gemini, I will need to be installed on one of... The second core is for Hephaestus.
And then you'll be able to absorb it.
Not quite. You will need to manually remove...
How long will that take?
There are calculations I still must run.
And during that time, the others will create a distraction for us.
Correct. The energy surge should mask...
And then we'll have everything we need to defeat this. There's something I've been wondering. How could Ted Farrow create a clearance level higher than Alpha? Elizabeth made sure he wouldn't interfere with the project.
It is plausible he tasked his own engineers with creating a back door to the Zero Dawn system, without Elizabeth's knowledge. My predecessor did not even know of its existence until he activated it to purge the Apollo database. It is, in effect, a blind spot, one that will allow us to subdue Hephaestus. And fortunately, thanks to Beta's information, we know where Omega clearance may be procured.
Right. Somewhere... So the facility where I recovered Demeter used to be a Pharaoh agricultural research. It's where they created the biomass conversion system, but also adamantine wreath. Did Elizabeth know they were working on that?
It is likely she was briefed on other efforts to combat the machine swarm, though her focus was devoted only to Zero Dawn.
That makes sense. But they actually got the wreaths to work. If they've been able to deploy it against the Pharaoh Plague in time...
Using the data you recovered on the project, I ran several simulations and have concluded that it would never have worked. In all scenarios, the Pharaoh war machines would eventually hack and deactivate the wreaths before they could contain the swarm.
So Zero Dawn really was the only solution. There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility about agriculture. Do you think it'll help the Quen fix their homeland?
I will run a query. Complete. The data contains information about novel crop production methods, which may be beneficial to the tribe in the long term.
But new crops aren't going to save the world, so I guess it's on us.
It is.
There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility. Do you think...
Novel crop. It is.
So Gemini has 2 data cores. I've never seen a cauldron like that. But you mentioned something about seismic activity?
When my predecessor attempted to build the cauldron, construction was disrupted by a series of earthquakes. The data core had already been built, but the rest of the facility sustained damage, so she began again. A second core was built. However, when more tremblers occurred, she abandoned the site.
Lucky for us. Are the quakes still happening?
No, though they did also create instabilities in other facilities.
I'll be off.
Farewell.
If you keep frowning that hard, you'll get wrinkles.
I just don't get this last part.
Maybe we can look at it together.
That's just I hear about you going west.
Turns out we need one last thing before we can grab Hephaestus.
Because it would have been too easy otherwise.
I was hoping you could help me with something. It's about the Tenakth rebels, and it also has to do with the Oseram.
Really? That doesn't sound good. Let me know what I can do to help.
Anything happen?
Zoe asked us to help her bring more plants in, not for eating. Yeah, if you ask me, places, metal might be plain, but it's nothing wrong with that.
How are things with Katalo?
Oh, she thinks she's funny. Actually, I played strike with him. Had to fill in most of the but I'm still alive.
Glad to hear it. Bet you're used to that folk.
Well, I can hit machines in their weak points. I guess that's something. I wish all the other data was as easy to do. To be honest, it's hard to understand half of what's on there. And then the other half reminds me, well, this isn't a fight you can... Which is kind of... But hey, that just means...
Just give it time. You've been looking at any interesting data?
Yeah, I asked Gaia to find me something to look at a while back, and she found the mother of all. They called it. Turns out the old one, time tackling and punching. Are you mixing some solid food and fresh ale? I bet...
What else have you been...
Yeah, I've been looking into this, Vegas. Gaia showed us everything that happened when you went to get that... I mean, this Moreland guy seems pretty... Though, risking the Tenakth clan lands for a light show...
His crew knows how to handle themselves.
Right.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tenakth rebel.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech. And they're as anti-Karja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the Karja with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tenakth?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Is there any way you can... anything to track them down?
Yeah, I can send out... get in touch with my contacts in the clan.
I'd appreciate that. I need to get going.
I think I know the answer, but... Gaia mentioned this other tribe you found?
I can handle them. In the meantime, Varl will help you get ready.
Take care of yourself, Aloy.
Aloy, you're here.
Not yet.
After all the trouble you went through getting those... Seems unfair you have to deal with these
It's... They think I'm Sobek, or they won't hurt me, but...
If you say so. Let me know if you need anything.
You better not be slacking off on your...
And risk Zoe coming after me? In fact, I've been reading about Ted Faro. How he destroyed the world and crawled into a hole after killing those who saved...
He definitely was a piece of work. I hope Zoe's not upset I'm distracting you.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about...
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, before Zoe found a way to fix the land gods, I suggested that when Gaia was fully restored...
Well, once we get Hephaestus, that's definitely a...
That's what I said. But I guess there was something about... She got pretty raw. Said I didn't understand the way... Which is true, of course. And the last thing I'd ever want to do is dismiss her. But I was trying to look at things more like you, you know?
Yeah, I guess I let...
Not your fault.
Did you talk to Zoe? After...
I suffered through a few hours of glaring silence. Then she seemed to move on. How do people do this? How do I know if the next thing I say won't blow up in my face? What if an apology is not enough next time?
You give her a stuffed animal?
You're the worst. You know that?
What makes you think I know anything about any of this?
Abandoning me again, huh? Well, if she kills me next time, it's on you.
Well, Beta and Gaia built the rig. Can you get everyone ready for the mission ahead?
Of course.
What is it?
Nothing. It's just that everything's about to change. We'll get Gaia, and she'll help us set things right. No more zeniths, no more derangement. It'll be a different world. I welcome it, but I wonder how the Nora will react. And the Karja, and well, everyone.
Let's just focus on fixing Gaia for now.
You're right. We've got an angry AI to take down.
If I get Omega clearance, and then we grab Hephaestus, we might finally have the advantage over the Zeniths.
Can't wait to see their faces as they stare down a bunch of charging Thunderjaws.
Better them than us, for once. I'll be in touch if I...
We'll be ready. Everyone's been briefed on the pulse generators as well.
Good.
Aloy,
Do you know anything about the...
only hearsay. The Utaru tell stories of an island that lies beyond the western coast. They call it the Isle of Spires. It is said the Old Ones built towers there that touched the sky, so they could live far away from the earth that bore them. As if they didn't want to be reminded that they'd one day return to it.
Sounds like something Ted Faro would do. You ever play that board game Aaron set up?
Strike? I'm the one who gave it to him. I was hoping it'd distract him enough to spare us that ruckus he calls death metal. No such luck.
You and Varl doing okay? Training, I mean.
We're doing fine. Although I admit it'd be nice to take a small break from studying, just the two of us. But then...
There's always Katalo.
leave a loud Oseram with a brooding Tenakth. What could go wrong?
What's everyone been up to?
I've been trying to share some of my meals with Beta. Thought it might help her feel more at home. Maybe even get her to sleep up here instead of in that dark basement. She would not be moved.
I appreciate you trying.
Patience reaps the best harvest. I'm not giving up hope yet.
How much have you read on Ted Faro?
Enough to wonder how a man who worked so hard to heal the world once could let greed and pride condemn it so easily. For one spirit to diminish in such a way, I'm not sure if I should hate him or pity him.
It looked like you were working on something over there.
With Gaia now growing in strength, I've been trying to find a way to heal the land gods, even if some people think I should give up on them.
Already said I was sorry.
Your friend thought it'd be a good idea to replace the land gods with new machines when Gaia recovers.
It wasn't.
The land gods have taken care of our people for generations. They are not some broken toy to be thrown away. Even if they are just machines doing their job, to abandon them in their time of suffering seems cruel.
I'm sure Varl understands that too.
He does now. I had to get pretty mad at him at first, though.
You know I can hear you guys, right?
Any progress with your plan for the land gods? Is the reboot code ready?
It is. But there is difficult work ahead. Gaia warned me that because the land gods are linked together in a network, the code must be delivered to all of them. Most are in Plainsong, but in recent years, 3 of them wandered off. So, T, and Do.
We have to find them?
No, we know where they are, but they're hard to reach. So, wandered into a lake and sank. Do ventured into a dangerous canyon, and T broke down amidst a herd of machines.
Okay. Tell you what. You go to Plainsong, handle all the land gods there. I'll take care of So, T, and Do. I'll need their locations, plus the reboot code.
I'm sending the data to you now. My people made shrines near where each land god faltered. When you see them, you'll know you're close. And once again, thanks for your help.
We're not gonna let your people starve, Zo. I promise. Well, I should get going. Hopefully I can bring back what we need to capture Hephaestus. After that, I'm gonna need everyone's help.
We'll be ready.
Plugging in that power cell downstairs must have turned on these holograms. Got a minute?
As many as you need.
I have to travel beyond the western coast.
To the ruins, shrouded in fog.
Yes, and I'm looking for a tribe, the Quen. I encountered them once before. They said they came from across the Great Ocean. I was hoping that Tenakth knew more about them.
There were rumors of trespassers in the area, but we thought they were just bandits. Hekarro sent out a patrol or two, but I don't recall them reporting back. We've had more pressing concerns, as you know. I'm sorry. That's all I can tell you.
It's okay. I guess I'll find out soon enough.
There is something I've been meaning to... It's... personal.
You said there was something you wanted to talk about?
I've been speaking with Gaia. She mentioned that the Zeniths bind metal with flesh to make themselves stronger. I was wondering if you'd help me do the same.
You want to make yourself a new arm?
Yes. Gaia insists she can help me build such a thing if I can get the necessary data and materials. She believes these things lie in the place where Beta hid from the Zeniths.
Their ancient research lab.
I am not as familiar with old-world machinery as you are. I could use your assistance.
It might be dangerous. The Zeniths probably still keep an eye on that place. We were lucky to get out of there alive the first time.
I see.
But sounds like this is worth the risk.
By the 10, we shall see it through.
Must be strange, seeing everything through a focus now.
I can see machines like never before. Their strengths and weaknesses simply reveal themselves to me. To think that such a tiny object might be the most powerful weapon I've ever possessed.
What do you think of this place? It must take some getting used to.
It's an efficient center of operations, and an acceptable training facility, though it could use some more color.
Duly noted. Anything interesting happen while
I found an acceptable place to practice with my blade.
Oh.
Outside, above the base. There's a nest of sunwings that are always up for...
Ever thought of sparring with something that's not trying to kill you?
That would defeat the purpose.
Found anything interesting?
Gaia told me where to find data on how wars were waged in the old world. I knew the 10 fought against machines, much as we do now, but it seems they were among the last of their kind. Later, machines battled other machines on behalf of greedy leaders, as they vied for land, and at least the Tenakth have the courage to put their lives on the line.
There is nobility in that.
Yes, of course. Hekarro would have it so as well.
Anything else you've been looking at with that folk?
Gaia showed me the knowledge. I am no chaplain, but I'd be curious to test if something I read is true.
What is it?
The Old Ones believed one could hear the great waters, even in the middle of the desert, if you carried the carcass of a water animal with you. They called them seashells.
That sounds... kind of gross. Does it still hurt?
It comes and... I try not to think about it, but its absence is always present for me. It's difficult to explain.
I can't claim to understand. Only empathize.
Then you have my thanks.
Have you spoken with Erend at all?
I've had little chance to. I did see him bring some ale from out east.
That stuff's as bitter as salve-brush.
You get used to it, eventually. In fact, I wouldn't mind a drink myself.
I'm sure Erend wouldn't mind sharing. What have you been up to?
Varl has asked to learn the differences between my people's clans, so I've been teaching him Tenakth history. It is heavy with blood and death, but also with honorable deeds and vanquished tyrants. Maybe you'd like to hear about it as well, when our mission is done.
I'd be honored. What do Tenakth do to relax? You know, to take a break from training?
We play strike. Your Oseram friend, Erend, is surprisingly good at it, although he has yet to beat me. It helps one think strategically, hones the mind for tactics.
Somehow that still sounds like training. I should get going. I've got a long road ahead.
Should you need reinforcements?
I know who to call. I'll call you when I'm near the Zenith lab. We'll get what you need for that new arm of yours.
Thank you, Aloy.
What?
Nothing. You look good.
Get back to studying.
The door's unlocked now. I've been carrying Elizabeth's pendant with me for months. But since we're gonna stay a while, I think I'll keep it here, where it'll be safe. Beta's so frustrating. I don't get how she can be so negative all the time. I mean, we're clones of the same woman, and yet she couldn't be more different from Elizabeth. I know Varl meant well, bringing up Rost. I guess it's hard to talk about. With everything going on, it feels easier to set those memories aside. At least for now. This is the rite of passage that Vishav gave me at the embassy. I liked him. He seemed like a good man. I think he was really looking forward to going home. When I met Hikaru, I figured he was just another bloodthirsty warlord. But Vishav was right. Hikaru wants peace. It won't be easy. But with his new marshals, maybe his vision has a chance.
Is your focus acting up again?
There's a lot of equipment in here. Gaia, what was all this for?
I've been tackling the design of the idle lab. Places I have a lot of seed stock to work with.
From here,
My favorite?
Control Center operatives
Sepal
will
626.
monitor new crop rotations
Calotropis
into the
gigantea.
automated farmlands,
The crown flower.
now known as plainsong.
We used to have one in
I
our
see.
backyard. Butterflies always fluttering around. Every morning, August would run out there to check under the leaves. See if any caterpillars turned into chrysalises. Now,
According to this
I'd like to
console,
imagine that the future
there are still
will be
thousands
filled
of
with them.
plant samples stored deep below the facility. I could ask Gaia about them the next time I talk to her.
looks nice with some green in it.
And dirt.
If we're going to go around trying to protect life, we should have more of it around.
I think it looks nice.
Oh, come on!
Aloy, it's a long way to the coast. If you need to resupply en route, I suggest stopping in Fall's Edge. It's a lowland clan village southwest of the Grove, in the heart of the jungle.
Got it. Thanks for the advice.
May your blade be bright.
Be guided by the 10.
Good day, Outlander.